A few weeks back, we saw some of the greatest minds of the future sit down to discuss future of Bitcoin, and that was in the B Word conference. You had Jack Dorsey, Cathie Wood, and Elon Musk. A lot of people learned about when Tesla will accept Bitcoin again for payment. They learned about what Elon actually holds. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about a potential investment opportunity that I found in the video and something that caused me to do a lot of research, and that's in nuclear energy. And it's one of the ways that Elon discussed about being, environmentally friendly and efficient moving forward. I know it's a dirty word. We'll be discussing what Elon had to say about uranium. We'll also be discussing the 5 fast facts that I found out about the commodity and how it could be important for us as a society moving forward. And then, of course, I'll throw out some investment opportunities or investment ideas that you can go and do some further due diligence on. But if this is your first time here, my name's Nick. Welcome to Ways to Wealth. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you a huge favor, a huge ask. If you learn something new or you get some value out of the video, of course, hit that like button for me. I would definitely appreciate that. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. With that being said, let's get into the nitty gritty. And that's the fact that Elon Musk had originally accepted Bitcoin as a payment for the Tesla cars. When it was found out that China was burning coal as energy, it was kind of a knock against the company because it was completely against what they had strived out to be. And that was an environmentally friendly company, a way of the future. So we have Elon discussing that and kind of the what that went against the vision of the overall company. That's why I decided to pull it.
And so I was like, look, this is too sketchy. Tesla's mission is accelerating the advent of sustainable energy. We can't be the company that does that and also not do appropriate diligence on the energy usage of Bitcoin.
And then they start talking about the hash rates, and this is where it gets a little bit more scientific, but we hear some of the key words in there, which kind of alludes to the fact that uranium could be something that's very important. So let's take a listen to that.
Well, the problem is that in order to operate so-called mining or hashing rigs, in order to operate a bunch of hashing rigs effectively, you have to run them 24/7, which means you need baseload. You can do that with solar and wind plus battery, but if you only did it based on solar wind overage, your hashing regularization would be much less. So you'd be at a disadvantage.
Sure.
Hydro or geothermal are great for as renewable means. I'm also pro-nuclear. I think modern nuclear power plants are safe, contrary to what people may think. I really think it's possible to make very, very extremely safe nuclear. I'm talking about fission. You don't need fusion. And then, of course, fusion, you just got that big fusion reactor in the sky called the sun. It comes up every day.
So we have Elon saying here that he thinks nuclear is safe. I know it's a super dirty word. Everybody thinks that, yes, okay, Chernobyl or some massive event that's happened that has caused a little bit of a negative connotation. People definitely are scared. Everybody says, hey, nuclear is good, but the realistic question is, do you want one in your backyard? So that's kind of something that I think we're going to have to overcome as a society. But as we moved into doing more research, I just wanted to highlight a few things. Of course, let's take a look at this NASDAQ article showing how uranium can help to electrify the world. And some of the facts that we pulled out here is that the electricity demand is on the rise. He went on to point out electricity use has been doubling since 2000 and expected to double again by 2040. That is absolutely incredible. 2040, only 19 years away. If you think about it that way, the world will need electricity regardless of where you go, especially now there's a lot of talk about decarbonization. This is extremely important, and the green trade that we had talked about before, that had obviously escalated at the end of 2020 and since cooled off. So who knows if there's more room to run there. Another point that I want to pull out from this article is he also pointed out that the uranium fuel pellets are incredibly dense, meaning transportation is easier, no more pipelines, and less of a burden on the grid. What's more, nuclear power can continuously generate power, unlike any other forms of clean energy such as solar. Can't generate power at night, and wind, which is dependent on weather. So it does have a bad rap, but he believes that its more nuanced discussion about the material will lead to a greater understanding. And that greater understanding is the Fast Five that we're going to talk about right now. Let's start with number one, and that's nuclear power plants produce 790 billion kilowatts of hours of electricity in 2020. Nuclear power is the largest source of clean energy in the United States already. You might not have known that. Look how large wind is, obviously important, but relying on the weather. If it's not blowing, it's not creating. I believe that there was some solar here and obviously some hydro and geothermal. We also heard Elon talk about, but look at the majority that's taken up here by nuclear. We also have nuclear as being one of the most reliable U.S. energy sources, and we take a look at the capacity factor by energy source, and of course, capacity factor is the power produced divided by the maximum possible power production given over a period of time. Obviously, 92.5% is super efficient, especially when you're looking at some of the other factors in play right now. Number four, there's currently 93 reactors in 28 states. Number five, one uranium pellet, just 1 inch tall, is equivalent to 17,000 cubic feet of natural gas. Also, 120 gallons of oil and 1 ton of coal. This is definitely something that could be an important energy source moving forward. We just need to alleviate and confirm that the way that's being done and handled is appropriate. Now, getting into some of the investment ideas, the one that I came across was Sprott. It's a ETF that's just recently traded. It trades on both the US and Canadian exchanges. And if you're not familiar with Sprott, what they do differently is they like to physically hold the commodity. So uranium's new, but they also have a silver product. And what differentiates their product from maybe another ETF that tracks that base metal is that those other companies are holding a paper form, where Sprott actually physically likes to hold on and have silver bars in a safe and you can take delivery of it. It's the same concept for the uranium. So it's trading US $8.37 here, trades as U. We'll take a look a little bit further down just to talk about the investment objective. And what we have here is the Physical Uranium Trust invests and holds substantially all of its assets in uranium in the form of a scientific conjunction that I do not know. The goal is to provide a secure, convenient, and exchange-traded investment alternative for investors who are looking at holding uranium. It is the world's largest uranium fund, experienced commodity fund manager, and uranium technical advisor. Liquid and convenient way to own physical uranium, transparent daily reporting of net asset value and holdings, and low fees. So we do have a look here. It is ticker symbol U.U is the US version on the TSX. You also have U.UN, and that is in Canadian dollars. And it was just started July 19, 2021. So this is super new. And just to scroll back up here, you can take a look at how many units of uranium it actually holds. And in the fund, we see here that it's $629 million worth of uranium today. And the management fee is only 0.35. So that looks pretty enticing. I'm personally not in this myself, but it's definitely looking like something that I would like to purchase. There is a bunch of other uranium producers that you can hold directly. There's probably a little bit more of a leverage play, meaning if you hold the base commodity and it goes up 1%, then realistically a producer should go up greater than 1%. Obviously, higher risk and higher liability. It also affects you further on the downside. But just to take a quick look at a Canadian producer, we have Cameco here, and Cameco is a producer of uranium. And if we look at a 1-year chart, it is something that has moved up 52% in the past year, but lagging over the past. Traditionally, if we look at Max, there is a cyclicality to the business. So we see here that it peaked at 55. I'm not a technical trader, so I don't think that we're touching here again or whatnot. I just think that if nuclear is the play, if it is the most efficient to the environment, cost effective, I definitely think that this is something that should be considered moving forward. And seeing where it's traded before, it could potentially get there again. Again, not a something that I'm investing in right now, something just to throw on your radar, give you something to do further research in. With inflation comes in commodities moving higher, so this could kind of fall into that bucket. But let me know down below, are you pro-nuclear? Are you against nuclear? Do you think it's no good? I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do your own research. If there's any other uranium companies that you know about, throw them down in the description. I'd be more than happy to take a look myself. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're still with me, don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. And please consider hitting that subscribe button. I hope you all have a great week in the markets. Happy trading.